My daughter stopped talking for months. Then my brother did one thing that changed everything. My daughter Lily didn't say a single word for 4 months after the accident that took her mom. Not one. She still went to school. She still ate when I put food in front of her. She still sat on the couch every night staring at the TV when it wasn't even on. But she was gone in a way that scared me more than any breakdown could have. She used to talk non-stop about school, bugs in the yard, nail colors, which Mario Kart track was unfair. Then one day everything in her just shut. Her teacher kept emailing me. The counselor kept telling me to be patient. Friends stopped asking to come over after Lily ignored them enough times. I tried art therapy, journals, board games, movie nights, even got her a puppy. She'd pet the dog for a minute, then go right back to silence. My brother Jake flew in last Tuesday from Seattle. He hadn't come since the funeral. He told me he couldn't handle seeing Lily like that, and I was too tired to be mad. Jake's always been the fun uncle. Loud jokes, too much energy, always showing up with snacks and game controllers. When he walked in, he smiled and said, "Hey kiddo, Uncle Jake's here." Lily didn't even look at him. She just kept staring at the black TV screen. I saw his face change for a second. He sat near her anyway, not too close, and talked with me for 20 minutes while she didn't move. That night, after I got Lily into bed, Jake asked if he could borrow her Switch. I told him she hadn't touched it in weeks and it was probably still on the charger. He said he couldn't sleep and just wanted something to do. The next morning I came downstairs at 6:30 to make coffee and found him on the couch looking wrecked. His eyes were red. There were empty Red Bull cans all over the coffee table. Mario Kart was still running on the TV. Every character was unlocked. Every cup was finished. He said, "I think I learned every track except Rainbow Road, and that one is evil." Lily walked in for breakfast and stopped in the doorway the second she saw the screen. Jake didn't look at her. He kept racing and kept crashing at the same turn over and over. On the third crash, he groaned and said, "This course is impossible. I can't be this bad." Lily took one step into the room. I stayed completely still in the kitchen. She looked at the screen and said, "So soft I almost thought I imagined it. You're taking the turns wrong." I nearly dropped the cereal box. Jake heard her. I know he did. But he didn't make a big deal out of it. He just held the spare controller out and said, "Then show me." Lily sat down on the far end of the couch and took it. Her hands were shaking. She picked the track and started racing. She hit every drift clean. She cut every corner tight. She got the boosts right and crossed the line in first. Jake leaned forward and said, "Do it again. I need to see when you start the drift." She did it again, then again. By the fourth race, she was talking in full sentences. "You have to start before the turn, not during it. Don't hold the drift that long. Those boosts stack if you chain them right." Jake kept asking questions like she was the expert. Best cart for speed? Best wheels? Which shortcut was worth it and which one was a trap? He never asked how she felt. He never asked about her mom. He just kept losing on purpose and letting her correct him. They played until it was time for school. I stood in the kitchen with my coffee going cold and tears running down my face. The next morning they did it again, and the morning after that too. Jake would make some awful move on purpose, and Lily would get annoyed enough to talk. By day 3, she rolled her eyes and told him, "You drive like you're 80, Uncle Jake." He put a hand to his chest and acted offended. She smirked. It was the first real expression I'd seen on her face in months. A few days later, she came home from school, dropped her backpack by the door and asked, "Is Uncle Jake here?" He had gone to the store. She looked disappointed. Then she grabbed the controller and started practicing alone. The second he came back, she challenged him before he even set the grocery bags down. "I found a shortcut on Maple Tree Way. Bet you still can't do it." They raced for 2 straight hours. At one point, she laughed so suddenly that I dropped the plate I was washing into the sink. Last night, Jake told me his flight back to Seattle is tomorrow. Before I could say anything, Lily looked up from the couch and asked if he could stay a few more days. He asked why. She twisted the controller cord around her finger and said she wanted him there for her parent-teacher conference next week because she volunteered to read out loud in English class. Then this morning, while I was making breakfast, she walked into the kitchen and asked me if Uncle Jake could teach her Smash Bros before he leaves because some kids at school play it at lunch and she wants to play with them too. Now my family is saying I leaned on Jake too much. Was I wrong?